All right. Let me just talk now about this animal abuse case. I was so disappointed, really. Oh, Lord have mercy. Mm-mm-mm. Anyone who could literally starve to death a dog, I don't quite understand why this poor dog was in such bad and ill treatment and so emaciated. After weeks of treatment, the dog just couldn't survive. The dog ended up dying, regardless, or I should say, in spite of some of the best medical assistance that are available on island. They tried to do everything to save the poor dog. I mean, its ribs were poking out. You guys saw the photos, I'm sure, um, of the poor thing. And you know what I find really, really egregious? Poor Wilmer. Was that his name? Wilmer? I think that was his name. Yeah. Wilbur. He fought a good fight, was found at a residence in Prospect last month, died on Sunday after undergoing weeks of treatment to try to save his life. Poor thing. Could not even stand up properly to eat. Listen, you don't have to like dogs, you don't have to love dogs. But if you fall into either category, then you simply do not own a dog. What is the sense of you owning a dog? Rich dogs cost money, make sure you understand, right? You got to take them to vet appointments, you got to feed them. If you can't afford a dog, you don't want a dog. But why have a dog and treat it like this? Look at that poor dog. He couldn't even really stand up. It's ridiculous. The poor thing was, fighting an infection. Looked like one of his eyes had a problem. Fighting an infection to try to, listen, these people wicked. I think the Department of Agriculture, which animal welfare falls under, they have policing powers, by the way. They said that they were investigating the circumstances under which this dog came to be in this condition. They need to arrest these people and have them charged. It was the neighbors who came forward and saw the condition of this dog, right? That were like, this poor dog is in deplorable condition. People found him, reported it to DOA. They knew which house the dog came from and who owned the house. Statements were given. I want to do a big shout out to everyone who tried to save this dog's life, all of the volunteers, the vet services on island, the good folks at One Dog at a Time. A lot of people stepped forward trying their best to save this poor dog. It's just unbelievable that, and I understand that they're Filipino nationals, and I found that interesting because, I thought they probably would have wanted to fatten up the dog for other reasons, not starve him to death. But whoever they are, I'm going to be watching this case through the court system to see exactly where this goes and what the outcome is. This is a criminal offense to mistreat a dog like this. If you can't feed the dog, you don't have enough money to feed the dog, give the dog up. There are people who are looking to adopt dogs all the time. There are a lot of agencies in this country who would have taken this dog and made sure that he was rehomed in a good home. Yeah? This is deplorable. Poor Wilbur. He saw some improvements, but he just couldn't make it. He just ended up passing away. Wow. So he passed away over the weekend. And it was very, very painful, I think, for a lot of people to see that he was fighting so hard. And in the end, his body just couldn't fight off like all the infections and everything else. They were doing an autopsy on him because this will be a court case now. And so he suffered from extreme starvation, advanced heartworm disease, as well as intestinal parasites. Unbelievable. To imagine the torture that this poor little dog would have had to sustain. Now, the people who were doing this to this poor thing had the audacity to show up over the weekend at the vets trying to take Wilbur back. Because I think they were starting to realize that criminal charges are definitely coming their way. Well, I'm rather shocked and surprised at this. You mistreat a dog. Agencies have to step in. DOE has to step in. All of this has to happen for poor Wilbur to have a chance at trying to fight for his life. And in the end, he just couldn't. Right? At this residence in Prospect. And then you have the audacity to show up talking about you want to take the dog back. No, sir. Somebody should have boxed you right then and there. So unfortunately, over the weekend, the Post said Wilbur passed away this morning, had his walk, laid down, and slipped away. He couldn't fight any longer. We are praying that there's justice for Wilbur in the court system. Unfortunately, it's not an isolated story. May his life have been for some purpose. Rest in peace. Such a sad, sad situation. It's cases like this that really make you recognize the horrific conditions that animals are having to live in. They were thanking a Miss Jacqueline Ebanks for paying for Wilmer's crematorium fees. I think that this story just really touched a lot of people. But as that previous post said, unfortunately, there are a lot of dogs who are in deplorable conditions. A lot of you are refusing to spay and neuter your pets, talking foolishness about, oh, I don't want my dog to lose his left nut. What if you took mine? It's not the same thing. But some of y'all need to lose your left and your right nut, if you ask me. Because some of y'all shouldn't be having children either. Let me be very, very frank with you. But dogs don't have a choice, right? They are looking out for us to really look out for them. And so we have a responsibility. It's a moral obligation on our part to ensure that no dog should live a life of unnecessary suffering. Look at this. The Humane Society posted this. Actually, was it the Humane Society? Hold on. No, the Veterinary Clinic and Specialty Boarding posted this. This was his little room. Poor little thing. So they put a little card and a little toy in there. Listen, they say Wilbur's kennel is empty this morning. This is all that's left behind. This and the anger, the frustration, and the pain. Let's hope his legacy will live on and that there's a silver lining for other animals on this island. His suffering and death shall not be in vain. Folks, if you have ever had the privilege of having a dog in your life, you know how much joy they bring you on a daily basis, right? Oh my God, they're just so amazing. They love without condition. They will put their own life at risk to save human beings, to save children, to save people, they have sniffed out cancer on people that was life-saving. There was a story not too long ago with a woman who, doing her regular checks and whatever, and she said that her dog kept obsessing a little bit about her breasts. And then the dog would walk away, like he didn't want to be around her. And she thought, well, this is strange, like something's going on. And she decided to check and she found out that she actually had breast cancer. And they have now proven that dogs, there's a odor that cancers emit, and they're actually training dogs to you know, detect breast cancer because they have the ability to detect it before even modern medical equipment. This is just how amazing dogs are, right? You don't have to love a dog, but you should not feel like you can abuse a dog. This is a difference. You don't have to be an animal lover. I love dogs to pieces. I don't want to see dogs suffering. I think everybody should have a dog in their life. They're just the most amazing thing ever. They love and you know, not only do they have the capacity to love unconditionally, but they also teach us as human beings a thing or two about loving unconditionally as well. You know, whether you're upset, you're having a bad day, whatever, when you walk through that door and that dog, even 5 minutes after walking out the door, that dog is so happy to see you. It just brightens your day. They're only given to us. Somebody said they're angels that are given to us for such a short period of time. But because they give so much, they don't live for very long. You know, it's just the most amazing thing to have. You know, I've had dogs throughout my life, and I tell you what, the loss of a dog, even from natural causes, is one of the most painful things in the world. It's the same thing as loving and losing any other loved one. But you know, this situation and others like it are just horrific. Anybody who can mistreat a dog, I think that there is something wrong with their core. Yeah. That's a special kind of evil person, in my opinion. If you can mistreat a dog, you'll mistreat a child, you'll mistreat old people, you will mistreat anybody that you think is beneath you and that relies on you for their very, um, you know, substance and their ability to live and survive. This dog and all dogs in Cayman deserve good homes. The pet population is out of control. Spay and neuter your pets. You know, I have people all the time. You guys know we have Zeus now. He's already fixed at 6 months. As soon as his little nuts came in, honey child, I was like, can we fix him now? They said, wait till 6 months. I said, all right. We take him in, we pay, and we have it done. That's the responsible thing to do. It's irresponsible to have puppies all over the place and they're eating out of garbage and they're getting parasites and you know, heartworm and this and that. You know, that's such a horrible thing to happen to dogs. Don't be an irresponsible pet owner. Dogs are social creatures. They love people. If they're properly trained, they will love other dogs as well. So whoever did this to Wilbur, you know, I think that they should be facing some jail time. If they're here in a work permit, I understand they're Filipino nationals. Don't take it personal, but you should never get another work permit in the Cayman Islands again. Simple as that. For you to show up time where you wanted to take this dog back, you're lucky it wasn't me at the vet office that day because I would have told you about your backside. Look at this. Look at this.
Little Wilbur. Oh my
goodness. My God.
Hello, Wilbur.
Oh my God.
Bless him.
Look like he can't even lift his poor little leg.
Come on, Wilbur.
Come on, Wilbur.
My God.
Oh, you're a good boy. Oh, you're
This
such a
breaks
good
my
boy.
heart.
Can everybody see your little face?
My Trina.
Oh,
Look at him.
bless him. Poor little thing.
My God.
He is everybody.
Look at this.
Yeah,
Look at
do
the
you want to
ribs,
go
the
outside,
impressions
sweetheart?
of his ribs.
Bless
Poor
him.
thing. Couldn't walk. Looked like he could barely even stand up. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy.
Oh my God. So horrific.
It is,
It's horrible.
you know, I thought slavery was abolished, but my dog owns me.
It's horrible. And like I said, you know, anybody who can treat a dog like this, They given the opportunity, they'd mistreat people too.
Of course. The thing about it is, and they, you know, if some people become more like a dog, they become more human.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It is really sad, you know.
Hmm.
Anyway, I got two little jokes for you.
Mm-hmm.
The driver said to an officer, "You can't find me talking on my cell phone while driving. It's my wife. I was only listening."
Yes.
And then the wife says to her husband, you can stop yawning when I'm talking to you, husband. I'm not yawning. I'm trying to say something."
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, Sandy.
Thank you, my
keep it
dear.
up.
Thank you
But,
so
you know,
much.
it's really sad, you know, because there's so many people that think that they can own a dog and that's it.
Yeah.
There's a dog down on First Street Hill Road. They got him in one little house.
Mm-hmm.
The chain is so big that he can hardly move it,
Mm-hmm.
and he got about 6 feet. That's what the dog is, and they feed him. I told somebody who was playing with him, and he was so happy, and I said, "You got to take this dog out of the sun. He can stay in the shade in his house." I said, "How would you like to be put out in that dog house for a week
Mm-hmm.
in the heat?" It is sad. What is wrong with people? They dog welfare, whatever. That it's they need to get their life together because they're not doing their job.
Mm-hmm.
Because don't tell me that you're driving around any district, you can't see that dogs are being abused.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't have no apologies to make to anyone when it comes down to my animals.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
they teach you how to love.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Gee.
Yeah.
You know?
It's unbelievable.
Okay, Sandy.
Thank you, my darling. Okay.
Okay, bye.
So many questions, really. Wanda says someone had to have known before he was rescued. Who knew? So I think that once the neighbors saw what was going on and recognized, they were the ones really who called the authorities. Live says that, oh, I wish I was there when they showed up. Trust me. Oh, that was Karen. Sorry. And there are no words for the people who did this. Absolutely. Soka says they had him tied up. I shouldn't have tuned in because now I'm so, you know what, angry right now. She dropped the F-bomb in there. And if anybody knows Soka, Marilyn, they know that she loves her animals, cats and dogs. She's always feeding them in Miami. Yeah, this is really unbelievable. Siobhan says sick human beings need to get the max sentence. They need to be dealt with. Well, here's the thing. Unfortunately, in the law, you know, they're going to probably just get a slap on the wrist. So this is one of those areas, the animal law, and I wish our MPs are listening this morning, that they really need to pay a little bit of attention to, because there should be a significant sentence for doing this sort of thing to a dog. And like I said, if you do this to a dog and you're a foreign national, after you serve your sentence, you must leave this country, never to come back again. We should put that blaring letters, dog abuser, on your WORC file. You should even be able to come here as a visitor, as far as I'm concerned. APOC 447 says dogs are expensive and a lifetime commitment. Do not get one if you aren't willing to make that commitment. And that's absolutely correct. They are a lifetime commitment. And, you know, I've seen things happen that would shock you. When people get a dog, they're like, oh, you know, oh, and like, it's too much work now for me to take care of the dog. I'm like, didn't you think about that beforehand? But you know what? I'd rather you give it away to a good home than for it to stay in the home and be abused or neglected because you don't have the time for dog. But I'm like, didn't you think about that? Dogs are like kids. Yes, they require time. You got to spend time with them. Child, there's nothing better that I want to do some weekends and just curl up on the sofa, just me and Zeus, and take a nap. He's the best napping buddy. I was like, Zeus, you lie right there and I lie right here and we can just snooze. Yesterday, I took him for a little car ride. Oh, he's so good in the car now. He just lies down in the back and behaves himself. So that he could get out a little bit. Dogs like to get out. They like to socialize. They like to be around other dogs. He has a little neighborhood friend, Zoomer. Every time he gets out, you can see him kind of peeping around the corner, looking to see where Zoomer is. Unfortunately, we still have those of a dogs next door that killed my last dog. That sometimes I have some real anxiety when I walk by and I hear them barking. Like literally my heart jumps. Just look and see, oh my God, are they going to get out again? Are they're barking close to the fence? What if they lean up and push the fence? The door opens. Oh my God, I've replayed it so many times in my head. Could I have done more? Should I have done more? Is there anything else I could do? What if it happens again? What am I going to do now? Like I've got this scenario in my head where I'm like, here I am walking. Like I just keep replaying it to think if this would ever happen again, how could I ensure that this never happens to poor Zeus? And I'm going to be honest with you. When I talk to you guys about being law-abiding citizens, and sometimes it's hard keeping in tune with our previous conversation, where I said sometimes it's hard to be a law-abiding citizen. This is one of those situations that if you guys knew how hard it was for me to do the right thing, although the system failed, the dogs are still there. They should have been put down. No dog should be able to kill another animal in cold blood and live to see another day. I'm sorry. The laws of this country have got to be amended. That should be just automatic. There shouldn't be any discretionary power. Nobody goes to court. Oh, well, they paid to have your dog cremated. I'm like, they're not bringing Coco back. That's the least you can do. Poor Coco suffered. It was such a sad situation that, my husband actually refused to let me see her because he said, I don't want you to have that image of her like this in your head because she was such an amazing and wonderful dog. And it takes on a daily basis, I can tell you, everything in me not to kill those dogs next door because I have thought about it a million times of how I could do it. And I'm not even concerned about getting away with it. This is the crazy thing when you're so just upset about a situation. Every time I think about what an amazing dog she was and how she lost her life and she shouldn't have. Because people are not socializing their dogs. These dogs don't get out anywhere. They're just tied up in a yard. They have all this pent up aggression and anger. They should be dead. They should not be able to live to see another day. Trust me. Somebody say kill the owners. Well, that's crossed my